Hi and welcome back. My name is Rachel and I am an artist, and today we are going to be talking about my painting, The Tower. The Tower is a card in the tarot deck. It's a series that I'm working on and I'm focusing on the major arcana. The tarot deck has two different parts, the major arcana and the minor arcana. The major arcana is the Fool's Journey, or the Hero's Journey, and sometimes it's called. And each card represents a different phase in the Fool's life and the journeys that he goes through. And I find it a fun and creative way to tell stories and to tell parts of my life and parts of the thoughts that I have. And so let's discuss the Tower. The Tower is the 16th card in the deck. Technically it's 17 because the first card is marked as 0. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the last card in the deck is 21 instead of 22, even though there's 22 cards. You got it. You smell what I'm putting down, right? The Tower. It is dun dun dun. Usually when you get the Tower, it's not a good sign when you pull the Tower. It is a card that people fear a little bit, which I don't think any card should be scary. Just like everything in life, change is scary, and I think that's why people fear this card, because it usually means that change is coming. And really what the Tower is about is something external happening that shows us that our foundations are shaky. In the Rider-Waite deck, which is one of the most famous versions of the deck, and this is where a lot of the images come from, it's a dark night, there's a stone tower, and it's being struck by lightning. So an external force is coming, hitting the tower and shaking the very foundations and making it crumble down. For my interpretation, I was like, wow. Originally, I was like, how can I make a tower? How can I show that there are shaky grounds? And what kind of castles, what kind of towers, castles crumble, fall away? And cue in my head every time it comes is, we built sand castles that washed away. Anyway, Beyonce, thank you. Made you cry. Anyway, yes. So I immediately went to sandcastles, because when you build a sandcastle, the tide comes in and it washes all your hard work, and you realize that, you know, an external force came in, and no matter how hard you worked at it, it still failed because it's just sand. And the tide comes and washes it away. So that's my take on it. Each card in the tarot deck is ruled by or represented by a different astrological sign or constellation and or a planet. So for the Tower card, it is ruled by Mars. Mars is usually, especially in Greek and Roman, ancient beliefs, words coming out of my mouth. It's the planet of war, the god of war, planet of aggression. That's why you have, the game God of War. Very good, by the way. The third one. Anyway, back to the Tower. The Tower, let me give you some fun facts about Mars, because, well, why not? It is like the fourth closest planet to us. It is also a very rocky, very dusty, and very cold. I wouldn't want to be there. Not a fun place to build a foundation, not a fun place to live. I wouldn't want to, build a house and let me plant a garden. It's also, according to NASA, the only planet that we know of that is completely inhabited by robots. So just putting that out there. It is a robotic planet. So I have Mars in the background. It's not a dark and stormy night I did, because I'm going with the whole sand thing. So we have from Mars, like a sun, and it's setting or rising or whatever you want. It's in the background. And originally I had lightning coming down to hit the sandcastle that I did. And I decided against that. I thought it was too true to the original card, but also kind of pointless. Eventually, it was going to be just the sandcastle, but I was like, where is the human element to it? And I was like, well, what else looks safe, but really isn't? And quicksand came to mind. So like you're walking along, you think it's fine, and then boop, and the more you struggle, the more you sink. So I have a person's hand coming up in quicksand, reaching for some help, and instead of, lightning, there is a rope coming, but the rope is cut and holding on by a strand. So if you pull on that, you're gonna sink even further. I didn't want lightning, like I said. I felt like the tower could be like you struggling and you're reaching out for help, and the help that's coming isn't really what's needed in the moment or what you really should have been getting along the way. I do have a dark and stormy background. There is lightning in the background. Couldn't get rid of the lightning completely. The sand dunes in the background are actually a picture from Mars. Those are real sand dunes that are on Mars as we speak. And they were taken, let me get my notebook. It was taken by the Mars Exploration Rover Opportunity in 2008. And this picture was taken in the Endurance Crater. Excuse the noise, my cat is eating his dry food. Don't look at me like that. He just licked his lips. Rude. So yes, so the tower is all about rocky foundations and think of like a house of cards or like a tower of cards, and you keep building, and then the wind comes and blows it all down. You're like, what? How did this happen? But like the whole time your foundations were really, as the Germans say, scheiße. So that is my little chat on the tower card. I really enjoyed painting it. It was very like cathartic painting for me. I really enjoyed bringing out my emo music for it. I make little playlists on Spotify for each card to help me process like the feelings I'm moving towards the card and what it feels like, what the card feels like for me. I'm a very musical person. I know art. So why don't you have a bunch of paintings about what it means? Like I'm more of a musical person, and I like to paint. So I usually have music on when I'm painting, or like an audible. It helps. It's like releasing. It's releasing. But anyway, so I have a playlist, and it was like getting in touch with all my emo music I loved as a teenager. So, actually I saw a comedian on TikTok. I forgot who it was. Man, well, if you know, comment it. But he was saying that he's like just a coinky dink that therapy took off, and all of a sudden emo music like declined. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my little chats, and that you want to watch some more chaotic chats about my paintings, and click the subscribe button and come back for the next chat. Enjoy the painting process that comes after this, and have a wonderful day. Bye!